Good evening, everybody. I'd like to open a town board meeting. Start with the Pledge of Allegiance.
I pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all.
First item we have on our agenda would be the acceptance of the prior meeting minutes dated August 21st, 2023. Need a motion and a second for that, please.
I'll make the motion.
And a second?
I'll second.
All in favor?
Aye.
And correspondence from Kathleen, please.
I have a budget modification from the supervisor's office, the supervisor's report for July. I have a training and certification registration form for all town officials, planning, zoning, that went out to all the ZBA and planning members. And then there's another one for the other town officials, town board members and clerks and town clerk rather. There is the August building inspector report and the SRO agreement with Minnesota Valley School. That's all I have.
Thank you, Kathleen. And move on to our committee reports with our board members. We'll start with Amanda, please.
No report for this evening.
Thank you. And Chris?
Just a few quick things. The Asian American Advisory Committee met last week, and Amanda and I attended. Looks like a lot of things going good with that. The zoning board meeting is at 7 p.m. tomorrow night. There is a meeting Wednesday night. The DMV bus, I know, is going to be at the Village Park Run on Friday at 10 a.m. to 3, and they're closed 12 to 1 for lunch. So if you have any DMV stuff, that's a good opportunity for that. I did notice over the weekend that the Historical Society got their barn on the roof, so it looks pretty good. And I think that's all I have.
Thank you, Chris. And we'll move on to Jim, please.
Okay. The village meeting will be this Thursday at 7 p.m. The Central Alarm Company, the guys who will be doing the wiring, they want to start this Thursday in the town to start with the wiring job. How does the board feel? Is that something that we can start with Thursday? And we just have to discuss how they're going to get into the two offices that are currently not open during the day. If they're not here, like the supervisors in the Angie's office. Regarding the wiring, the switches were ordered for the new system. I was told tonight. The wires, I didn't order any wires yet because I wanted to play it safe before and see what wires we need, because they come in different sizes, like 3 foot, 1 foot, 7 foot, 10 foot wires. So once they wire the building, we can determine what size wire we might need for that location before we order them. Last meeting I brought up again the basketball systems, and I got the quotes for the Mega Slam.
Yes.
It comes out to $22.99. That's $600. They have a sale right now. It's $600 off. The regular price is $28.99. It's a regular size 72-inch backboard. This one, the price would be $9,196 for all 4 of the basketball hoops out in the town park. And the only thing I have to say is tomorrow is the first day of school, so welcome back to all the students. And just remember, those yellow school buses, those red lights flashing, don't mean stop. Don't keep going. And that's all I have.
All right, thank you, Jim. Only a couple items I have, still taking signups for our CPR and first aid classes. I've got about 13 residents signed up for the classes and 4 non-residents on a waiting list if there's room for them to come in. $20 fee for non-residents to take the class. 20 is the occupancy cap. You can call or email down to the town hall to get on the list. The dates of the classes are 9/18 and 9/19. So CPR and first aid. Just a reminder, on the 26th, which is the last Tuesday of September, 6 PM, we will have our first of our budget workshops for the 2024 fiscal year budget here at the town hall. And that's all I have. We'll move on to the highway report from Dean.
I had a question about the siding for the addition. No, two meetings ago you brought it up and there was a problem with the bid. Has that been resolved in the bid?
Yes,
It has?
correct. Yep, I've got the updated information from the other contractor.
Because if we're gonna do that, we gotta do this. The generator at the rec center, I had Gentech there today. One of the officers called last Wednesday, I think it was a cold night, and the alarm was back on again for cold. So, supposedly they figured out what the problem was and they're gonna come back and fix it. But they reminded me that we didn't have a service agreement. I don't remember whether we wanted it or we didn't want it. They forwarded it to me again. I can forward it to you if you want me to.
I know we discussed the original proposal they had was for periodic maintenance, which
Yeah,
you guys.
maintenance we
are-
can do, but I don't
key.
know. I'm fine with doing the maintenance. It's just we have to pay for any trouble calls that we can't solve, that's
Yeah, if you send that over again, Dean, we'll look at it,
all. Okay.
just revisit that again.
Jim mentioned wiring. I know there was somebody here today starting wiring. He was here last Wednesday,
Oh,
last
he just came to
Thursday.
inspect it, yeah. He didn't
And
start.
he said, no, he didn't start?
No, he was told me they were, I think I emailed the board, they were wanting to come and do one more walkthrough before they
Oh,
started.
okay.
So,
He said he was gonna start today.
yeah, I guess
Alright.
some of the stuff didn't come in yet, that they ordered, so he said Thursday. He texted me today.
The last thing I have is, I know about a year ago when we got the ARPA money, you asked me to get a quote on seal coating the tennis courts, basketball courts. We had gotten a quote from one vendor to see how much it would be. I just didn't know if you wanted to go through with that, or,
With the basketball, it would probably be best to have them installed before any of the work would be done, because that would then seal that complete area over. I think just in terms of order of operations on that, would be the right.
And then we have to look for someone to, line them, yeah, correct? Just
Yeah.
Striping. I have a contact, someone I know that might do it. If you want, I'll reach out to them, I'll send you the information when the time comes.
all right, so that's on hold then for a while.
Yeah, until we get the,
It takes 1 to 2 weeks, once we order the, systems, it takes 1 to 2 weeks to get in, he said, and it's free delivery,
All right, that's all I have.
all right, thank you, Dean. On to the police report from Mike, please.
Good evening. Hope everybody had a good Labor Day weekend and enjoying all the heat. Only thing I have for you today, which is a new business, is a recommendation for deputy chief position, Curtis Hain. He's local to the area, has a lot of experience. He's retired with the city of Newburgh Police. Actually retired as a sergeant. Held a lot of duties there, K-9 handling, house negotiations, stuff like that. So other than that, that's all I got. Recommending for that. Unless there's any questions, of course.
Any questions? Questions, thank you, Mike. And village report,
I couldn't make it.
all right, from the mayor?
You covered everything.
Okay. No report, Bob's not here, thank you. And we'll move on to the first item in new business. Kathleen, do you have the budget modification? Would you be able to please read the budget modification for us?
Sure, increase revenue A 4089, other government aid grants in the amount of $59,179.81, and increase A 1620.4, buildings contractual in the amount of $59,179.81. This reflects a grant reimbursement for the town hall addition. Increased revenue SS 2700, miscellaneous local sources in the amount of $56,045.15. An increase SS 8130.4, sewage treatment plant contractual in the amount of $56,000 $45.15. This reflects a DASNY grant reimbursement for sewer plant filter replacement.
Thank you, Kathleen. Need a motion and a second to adopt the budget modifications as read.
I'll make the motion.
And a second? All in favor?
Aye.
And we have the supervisor's report for July of 2023. Need a motion and a second to adopt that as written, please.
I'll make the motion.
And a second?
Second.
All in favor?
Aye.
Provided a copy of the updated proposed contract for the SRO agreement. That's the school resource officer the police department has at the Otisville Elementary School, which is in a menacing district. We're looking for an approval on that, just an update of the terms and the cost per hour on that to reflect the raises the officers have gotten in their contract. So we need a motion and a second to adopt the contract as written.
I'll make that motion.
And a second?
Second.
All in favor?
Aye.
Next item, to approve paying bills for abstracts 34 and 35, please.
I'll make the motion.
And a second?
I'll second the motion.
All in favor?
Aye.
Next item, as police chief had remarked, have a request to hire Curtis Hain as a part-time deputy chief of police with an effective start date of September the 13th, 2023, and subject to a written employee-employer agreement.
I'll make the motion as stated.
In a second?
A second.
All in favor?
Aye.
As Dean requested the information with the citing quotes, the difference in clarification work with engineer on. The one quote from the vendor, Never Sink Lumber, came in about $500 cheaper, but it's a completely different material, metal material. It's a thinner material as opposed to what was provided in the proposal from Beacon or RZ. We've gotten some other materials before. So the explanation, that's why the difference in the values on that. So the recommendation would be go with Beacon Building Products for the siding materials for the addition. All materials quoted at $6,920. So we need a motion and a second to approve the bid from Beacon Building Products.
I'll make the motion.
And a second?
Second.
All in favor? And Jim had the basketball quotes, the two quotes he provided for the replacement basketball systems up to the park. Mega Slam Hoops was the preferred vendor for that, correct, Jim?
Yes.
Total cost was $9,196, so we need a motion and second to approve that bid for the basketball hoops.
I have one question. You're okay putting them in, Dean?
I don't know, we have to put new posts in?
Yeah, it's, you would have to take the old ones out, you would have to probably put cement and pass the screws, and just bolts into the cement.
I'm sure we can handle it, it's just I haven't seen any of the.
I can send you the info, if you like. That's all it is, it's a square base, you have the cement the screws in and just bolt them on.
I just didn't know how they were in there now.
I think they're just cemented in, right? That's all they are, round hole.
Yeah, the other ones are concreted in.
Okay, that's my only question. I'm sorry.
Any other questions on the proposal? So need a motion and a second to approve Mega Slam hoops for the replacement at a cost of $9,196.
Make the motion.
And a second?
One second.
All in favor?
Aye.
Aye.
How many, is that for, four?
Yeah.
Four.
Yep, quantity of 4. And at this point, we will move on to public comment.
I just have one thing I remembered. A few weeks ago, I walked through the insurance company.
Yes.
I wanted to do a walk through all the buildings. His only comment was the sewer plant. We got there, the gate was not locked. There was no lock on the gate. And we got to the back plant and we entered the building through the open generator door.
Yeah, he did send that
Oh, you
recommendation
did get it?
by email, so yes, we're, get that addressed with Mike at the plant. So, thanks for taking him around to the site, Steve.
Yeah, everything else was good, he said.
Diane?
Just a few things from Mount Hope Seniors. You mentioned you're gonna be starting the budget process, so I
Yes.
will email you our budget request for next year.
Okay.
You don't need me to come to a meeting, right, if I just email that to you?
That's fine.
Okay.
You are welcome if you.
Well, thank
join
you,
us.
yes, but I mean, it will be pretty simple in the email. I don't have to tell you the cost of transportation has gone way up, so that's what any increase, request would be based on. Next Tuesday, the 12th, at our senior meeting, the presentation is from the National Guard. It's actually the Citizens Preparedness Corporation, and I thank Chris for putting it on the website. We normally get 35 to 45 members at these meetings, and we can have up to 50 at the training. So if anybody is interested in coming, please let me know, because, you know, I'm putting the names down, and the first people who are down are obviously the ones who are gonna be able to come in. It's probably about an hour training session. I did try to convince him to reduce it a little bit, because he's dealing with seniors, and sometimes a half an hour presentation goes over a little better. But he assured me that it could not be done in less than an hour, but that they're very tuned into their audience and would make sure that people didn't fall asleep or anything. So you're more than welcome to come. If you know anyone else who is interested, they feel free to give them my phone number or email, and they get on that list. With that said, the chairs in the training center have not been up in almost a month. We didn't meet there, their second meeting, we met at the park last time, so it wasn't an issue for us. But I've been checking every week, and I did check with people who were there this morning, and the tables are all in place, but there's never any chairs set up.
The folding chairs?
Yes.
Okay.
So if we could just make sure that they're set up for Tuesday for the National Guard, so they're not having to stop and try to do all that. They will be there an hour early, because they're required to be, to make sure everything is all set.
Diane, if nobody's in there tomorrow night, I can take care of that. We'll send them all out.
Thank you. Okay, so that's the chairs, that's next week, and then Dean, you weren't here last meeting when I mentioned, we have a week-long trip scheduled from the 18th to the 22nd of this month. Now, the 18th, I believe, is a meeting night for you. So I had thrown it out at the last meeting that, you know, if you preferred that we parked over at the senior center and had the bus meet us there, I would just need to let the bus company know, you know, in an appropriate amount of time.
Your expectation was about
18 to 20
20 cars?
probably.
Yes, so that is a meeting night for the town board and a planning board as well on for Wednesday of that week. So if it's not too much hassle with the senior group this way, you know, it leaves parking for both of the meetings.
Okay. The only thing I would ask, and this is of Kathleen, is that if people show up here, kind of keep an eye out, and if people are showing up here, remind them. I'll tell everybody, but, you know. In fact, maybe you could just post something on the door even, so that we're not, you know, coming and bothering you, but hopefully we'll. So we will be taking off from the senior center. I'll have them park
Park on the side.
on the
Not right
side.
in front. Yeah. That's
So-
Yeah, the right side of the building, this
Right.
way it
So the front is
still
there
be
for
accessible.
anybody who, you know, is using it. Obviously, the senior groups won't be meeting that week, but there may be other groups who are. That's all I have. Anything, questions for us?
I think so. Thank you, Diane.
Matt, I got one thing.
Yes, sir.
Defensive driving class that I put out to everyone, it's gonna be Saturday the 9th. 40 people max, so we maxed it out. We got about 55 people actually, so there's a waiting list for the next class. But I'll put a message out later in the week as far as what they need to do. It's $32. They can pay by cash or check at the door. That's all I got
At the senior center.
at the senior center.
All right. Thank you. Any other public comment? No public comment. And at this time, move on to board comments. We'll start with Jim.
I have no comments.
Chris?
No comments.
Amanda?
Diane, do you meet every Tuesday or is it
No,
just?
the second and fourth Tuesday are our meeting days.
Okay.
Now, the exercise group meets every Tuesday and Thursday, but they don't use those
Right,
chairs,
they
so
usually
that's
have
not a
chairs.
problem.
Okay. Cause I had a rental check a few weeks ago and all the chairs were out, or not out, they were out,
Yeah,
so.
I've checked every week, so
No, I'm not,
I don't,
in
no,
no way.
I don't know if
tossing
like
it.
the person coming in cleaning
Yeah,
thinks that they need to all be put up
okay, yeah.
or what, but I mean, they're all very neatly, put
Yeah.
away, but.
Okay, alright, I'll fix it, thank you.
And only comment I have, the video recording from last meeting, we had an error with the camera, so we've got a battery replacement, so I see we're still recording. So that's why there was no posting of the meeting of the last 21st of August. And at that is all I have, so we need a motion to adjourn
Make the motion.
and a second.
Second.
All in favor? Aye.
So we'll see you Tuesday.
Oh, I don't mind, I didn't know. I thought we were doing
Say it again, I'm sorry. Okay, that's actually not, that's good.